And one remains. One. Kyle Connor, you're up. You're it. Mikko Rantanen signs an extension with the Avalanche today, reportedly worth $9.25 million annually, $55.5 million in total over 6 years. So, because it's a longer-term contract, he gets the higher cap hit, which is a reversal of how things used to work as recently as a couple years ago. The longer the contract, the lower the cap hit to try to... Anyways, this is now the world we live in, right? Now the bridge contract is back. Ta-da! And the economics of the NHL continue to change. So Rantanen decides he wants to stay long-term with the Avs, takes a $9.25 million a year contract, which, you know, I think that's going to end up being a bargain. And I mean that. I think the line that they've got with Rantanen, with McKinnon and Landeskog, I think if that line can stay together, and if they can have the kind of magic they had, especially in the first half of last season, this contract could end up being a huge bargain. Rantanen had an amazing first half of the season, did cool down in the second half. I think there's going to be some people expecting more out of him in their fantasy league this year than he necessarily will provide, but I think he's at least a point-a-game player this year. I think 82 points sounds about right, and the potential is there for him to get as high as, say, 100. Again, it depends on that top line, but for Colorado, they had to get it done, and they did. So Sakic comes out with a 6-year contract for Rantanen. Again, this just leaves Kyle Connor. Connor's been rumored to be after a longer-term deal, so maybe the Braden Point, Patrick Laine, those other deals, maybe he looks at those and says, well, that's fine. Those are for 2 or 3 years. I want to sign for longer, and so the Rantanen contract could very well be a comparable for him. And, of course, this all comes back on how much money Toronto's paid for theirs. And it gets kind of crazy, doesn't it? Because I'm seeing that as comments already online, and it is kind of crazy, and I'm not sure how long this goes on for. Do we ignore this as soon as Wednesday rolls around and we're playing games that matter in the regular season? Or do we continue to have this conversation right into the regular season? Anyways, Colorado, good job. They didn't break the bank. This is right around where the rumors all summer have been 10 million or around 10 million, right? So 9.25 million isn't far off of that. I'll be interested to see where Colorado wanted it to be and how much they came up, how much Rantanen's demand came down, and how much this has to do with players just want to play. They don't really want to hold out. So again, Kyle Connor's the only one left. Again, Julius Honka you could put on the list, but Honka is probably awaiting a trade more than anything else. And it's got to be getting more and more awkward as teams start trimming down their rosters. And so a trade for Honka becomes less likely, I think, as we get closer to the start of the season than more likely. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below regarding the deal signed by Mikko Rantanen. How do you feel as an Avs fan? Are you glad this is done and we don't have to hear about it again for 6 more years? And how do you guys feel about this as opposed to other contracts? Good deal because they paid for the extra years, or are the bridge contracts a smarter way to go? Let me know your thoughts. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.